All right, everyone. Hopefully that was today's session was helpful understanding things like icon fonts, like Font Awesome. Font Awesome is one of these I don't want to call it a hack, but it's something that it's a technique that a lot of developers use. You can find many websites using Font Awesome or something like it. Like if you go to a website, and at this point you should know how to do like an inspect. If you ever come across an icon, I don't know, one of these, if it ever says FA in front of it on the class, like FA Facebook, FA Circle, or I don't know, let's go to another website, Nike.com. I haven't tested this out, so it may not work, but let's try it. So, I don't know, maybe this icon here. Is this icon font? It might be. No, actually, that's actually a vector. And there's the SVG. Okay, I'm wrong there, but I don't know. Wouldn't have been great if Mr. Hurwitz had thought about this before he decided to hit record. Oh well, you know. That's another one. Okay. Maybe icon fonts are not as prevalent, but you still will run across them. So like here's SF Gate. Okay. Do as I say, not as I do. Uh, all right, this is, oops, there you go. Here's another one, FAB. FAB stands for Font Awesome Brand. So you will definitely run across them. I will say that it was a technique that was very popular. It's not that it's gone. It's just some people it's not, maybe not as popular as it once was, but you're definitely going to find a lot of systems that still use it. Um, so anyway, hopefully that was helpful. Importing your own fonts, that's still something that goes on a lot, whether it's Google Fonts or Typekit for your Adobe people, lets you import fonts. There's other places too. It's just those are the top two ones that you can do. Some websites even use at font face to import their own fonts into the website rather than getting them from an outside source like Google Fonts. But anyway, I'm giving you guys a lab that practices this. So today is the 21st. This will be due not this Friday, but the Friday after, which is the 30th. I'm giving you this lab. It technically goes over two concepts, one that I haven't taught you yet. So it goes over things like icon fonts and things like that, and using Google Fonts or some sort of CDN or content delivery network to bring in an outside font. It also is going to go over our final um, layout technique, which is something called CSS position, which is something that is used when you want to, it's used mostly when you want to lock a visual item or a part of your web page to part of the display, which we'll talk about. So we haven't covered that yet. We're not going to cover that till Monday, but you can at least start the lab, even if it involves some things that we haven't finished. It's your standard follow along type Mr. Hurwitz lab. Remember that your Toy Story Lab that I signed last week is due this upcoming Friday. Um, your Flexbox Lab, which is from Monday, is due next Friday. Not this Friday, but the following Friday. You should also be working on that sophisticated lab, which I signed last week or last week, sorry, Monday. And this is a practice of the upcoming assignment where you're gonna, at this point, you guys know how to write HTML, CSS, but this is going to make a sophisticated page that incorporates things like grids or flexbox or possibly both, position, things like icon fonts and things like that to have a much more sophisticated layout. This is great practice for your upcoming assignment. Speaking of that, your upcoming assignment, remember that you guys are working on your small business website, which is 2 web pages or nonprofit, whatever you want to do. And that you guys should be working on wireframes. Wireframes are layout for your pages. So remember that wireframes are all about structure. It's not about color. It's not about fonts. Basically, everything we talked about today is kind of not about that. It's not about what font you're using or whatever. It's more about like text goes here, image goes here, navigation goes here, article goes there. It doesn't really matter what the article is. It doesn't matter what color it is or what font it's using. It's more just kind of laying things out of like boom, 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 boom. It's more about like rows and columns and where things exist. Much more about box model and really more about like elements such as like, grid, CSS grids and Flexbox would be more apropos, so to speak. So, but you guys are gonna work on these wireframes, which are like the 2 pages of your website. You're gonna use this as kind of a reference when you're working on your final project. Hopefully, you can kind of see visually. It's like, oh, column, column, column. Maybe you're gonna use CSS grids. Maybe you might use Flexbox to create this. Same thing here. 1 column, 2 column, 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns. When you start doing your design, you'll start realizing like, oh yeah, this is like a column, this is like a row. I got to figure out how to do that. And hopefully, put in icons. You can figure out now that we do that, how we might use something like bibbidi bobbidi boom, font awesome or something like that. Okay. So you should be working on your wireframes, which are due not this Friday, but the following Friday. You can build these wireframes in any program you want. I don't care. You can use Figma, you can use Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, Photopea, whatever you want to use. Just export them as PDFs or standard image formats like a JPEG or a PNG or something like that, and you'll submit those to me. Okay? If you're seeing this before 9 a.m., we have class at 9 a.m. Remember also, I have office hours this Friday as per usual from 12 to 1 if you guys have any questions on anything. Okay.